Welcome. Today we will journey to Tajikistan, a country where hidden wonders and contradictions can change your perception of Central Asia. Many consider Tajikistan a poor and isolated country, limited in resources and forgotten on the world map. But what if all this is just an illusion? Imagine a country with one of the richest water resource systems in the world, which could be the key to its future prosperity, while most are unaware of its natural wonders and historical heritage. Why? Despite its strategic location on the Great Silk Road and its wealth, does the country remain in the shadow of the world's attention? Who and how has shaped the image of Tajikistan? And what hidden facts allow us to see its true face? What is at stake? Are we at risk of missing a unique opportunity to understand what makes this corner of the planet so important today? In this video, we will piece together all the fragments and reveal a hidden picture that will change your perception. And if you are ready to understand the truth behind the layers of stereotypes, just keep your eyes open. An unmissable discovery awaits you. In the depths of Central Asia, where mountain peaks touch the sky and rivers, like living arteries, traverse the land, lies a country with a rich history and unique natural wealth. This is a place long labeled by stereotypes as poor, isolated, and backward. But just lift the veil, and new facts, evidence, and legends will appear, shattering established myths. Here, in Tajikistan, ancient wisdom and natural power combine, known to few and deserving to be heard. When you say Tajikistan, the image often arises of a country limited in opportunities, without resources, and with an inaccessible climate. A country that seems to attract only complaints and stereotypes of poverty. But history holds evidence to the contrary. It testifies to hidden riches, to the fact that this land is one of the richest in the world in terms of water resource systems. It is said that the rivers flowing from the mountain peaks of the Pamirs and Tian Shan are true arteries, nourishing not only the countries of the region, but an entire continent. These waters are a treasure that can provide energy for centuries. The great hydroelectric power of the country is not just a fact, but evidence that natural resources, contrary to stereotypes, make Tajikistan a key player in the field of renewable energy. And yet, why do most people not know about its natural landscapes and cultural monuments, despite its strategic location on the Great Silk Road? Why does a history rich in events and legends remain off the global tourist routes? This question is not just rhetorical. It reflects a deep conflict. A country with incredible natural beauty and historical heritage remains in the shadows, undervalued and almost forgotten. Within this shadow lie secrets of ancient cities, of a rich culture, of a people who have preserved their traditions for centuries despite the trials of time. The most astonishing thing is that a country that seems so vulnerable and isolated actually possesses a power capable of surprising even the most seasoned travelers. These hidden facts are not just numbers or historical dates. They are evidence that Tajikistan is not only a place where mountains and rivers meet, but also a cultural crossroads, a keeper of ancient legends and new opportunities. In every corner of it lies a story of struggle and survival, faith in a bright future, and belief in the power of nature. But who has shaped the perception of the country on the world stage? Why is the global image of Tajikistan often just a shadow of reality? The influence of mass media, political games, and historical prejudices have all created a stereotype that is difficult to break. History shows that it is precisely such countries that most often hide their true wealth behind walls of misunderstanding and ignorance. They are like precious gems hidden in the mountain depths, requiring time and patience to uncover. And now, on the threshold of the 21st century, more and more unexpected discoveries are emerging. Travelers, researchers, and investors are beginning to notice that right here, in the heart of Asia, new opportunities for the development of tourism, energy, and culture are hidden. It is no coincidence that now, when global challenges demand sustainable solutions and an ecological approach, Tajikistan is becoming increasingly attractive to those seeking not only adventure, but also meaning. Its natural riches, its legends and traditions, All this turns into a powerful magnet for those who want to understand deeper than superficial stereotypes. But why is the country beginning to attract the world's attention now? What amazing secrets does it hold? What is its uniqueness that can change perceptions and give a new impetus to development? These questions are not just rhetoric. They are the key to understanding that Tajikistan is not just a geographical object, but a living organism filled with history, culture, and opportunities. It is not just a place on the map, but a space where the past and the future are intertwined into a single whole, creating a unique cocktail for those ready to explore new horizons. Now, in an era of change, this corner of the world is becoming increasingly important. Its secrets await those who dare to rise higher, look deeper, and embrace the spirit of this amazing land. Here, among the mountain peaks and quiet rivers, lie answers to questions that plague humanity. How to preserve nature, how to connect the past and the future, how to build sustainable development without losing uniqueness. In these questions lies the essence not only of the country, but also a challenge to the whole world. Tajikistan is not just a point on the map. It is living testimony that within the heart of every nation lie endless possibilities. And the more we learn, the clearer it becomes. It is this nation that has the chance to show the world that wealth is not only in the abundance of resources, but in the richness of spirit, history, and culture. And perhaps now, as borders become more transparent and ideas more important, Tajikistan is revealing its secrets to those ready to hear its voice. The voice of mountains, rivers, and ancient legends. A voice that calls for new discoveries, new heights, and new knowledge. And in this calling voice lies the hope that this country, with its uniqueness and strength, will finally receive the recognition it deserves. Majestic mountains hidden in clouds and bottomless valleys, etched with traces of ancient rivers. All this is the heart of Tajikistan. A country that, despite its small size, holds within it a whole world of natural wonders and contradictions. Within its borders lie chilling glaciers and hot springs, mighty ranges and quiet plains, where the air is filled with the sense of freshness and mountain tranquility. Here in this tiny corner of Central Asia, every moment is a testament to the power of nature and its unpredictable will. The total area of the country is just over 143,000 square kilometers, which seems insignificant for such a region, a tiny point on the map compared to its neighboring giants. And yet, this small territory is one of the richest in natural diversity in the world. Here, four main natural zones converge, as if nature itself created this patchwork quilt of colorful fabrics. In the north, fertile valleys are irrigated by rivers originating from the glaciers of high mountains. They are surrounded by fertile land where grain grows, and in the summer months, the air is filled with the scent of fresh grass and blooming gardens. In these valleys, like the heart of the country, traditions and crafts come alive, but they also hold evidence of ancient civilizations when caravans of the Silk Road passed through here. Much higher are the mysterious mountainous areas, covered with snow caps and glaciers that seem to hold secrets of millions of years. This is the heart of this world, its wings, its breath. The highest peak, Ismail Somoni Peak, formerly known as Peak Communism, rises to nearly 7,500 meters. This mountain is not just a geographical mark, it is a symbol of challenge, a symbol of overcoming. The grandeur of this peak evokes awe, and simultaneously a desire to understand what lies behind its icy facade. Glaciers, covering more than 6% of the territory, are living witnesses of time, frozen in eternal silence and cold. They provide the country with fresh water, feed the rivers, fill the valleys, and create a unique ecological system that is a wonder in itself. Mountain ranges, such as the Pamirs and Zeravshan, form natural boundaries, like giant hammers embedded in the earth. Their peaks, covered in snow and clouds, are the roof of the world, a place where silence and power meet. These mountains are not only natural boundaries but also hold many legends, stories of ancient nomads, and those who attempted to conquer their peaks. Although these mountains create impassable barriers, they also nourish rivers and lakes, serving as a source of life for the entire region. However, this incredible nature is not only a source of beauty and wealth, it is also a source of danger. Tajikistan's location at the junction of several tectonic plates makes it susceptible to the strongest earthquakes. Evidence of this includes the devastating cataclysms that have occurred here over the centuries, leaving behind ruins and memories of destruction. Earthquakes are a constant challenge for the residents of these mountain valleys, their homes, and infrastructure, creating ongoing tension, a continuous struggle for safety and survival. Water and glaciers are the country's most important natural resources. They feed rivers and create conditions for life in many regions, supporting agriculture and hydropower. Yet they require careful management, as the melting of glaciers is not only evidence of global climate changes, but also a potential disaster. The disappearance of ice masses could lead to the loss of freshwater sources, changes in landscapes and ecosystems. Thus, Tajikistan's natural wealth is both its strength and vulnerability, its richness and its challenge. The central question looming over this country is how natural features and geological activity shape the face of Tajikistan and create its challenges. How do mountains and valleys, glaciers and earthquakes determine the fate of the people, their culture and future? The answer lies in the fact that this land is a living organism, constantly changing and struggling for its existence. Its natural wealth is simultaneously a source of strength and danger, and its history is a testament to humanity's struggle with nature, an attempt to understand and subdue it. In this lies the profound meaning. What wonders and dangers are hidden in the heart of Central Asia? What secrets does this land hold, and how does it utilize its natural wealth? Perhaps the answer lies in balance, between respect and struggle, between beauty and destruction. For nature does not distinguish between good and evil. It exists on its own, and only humans choose how to interact with this powerful, unpredictable world. Tajikistan is like an ancient keeper of its secrets, which in every curve, in every peak and valley, tells a story of strength, struggle, and hope. And this story is not only about the land, it is about the people whose fate is inextricably linked with this proud, harsh, and beautiful country. In the warm, piercing light of the morning glow, when the mountain peaks are still shrouded in soft mist, and the air is filled with the aromas of juicy fruits and spicy herbs, a unique country unfolds before us, Tajikistan. It is not just a map, not just borders marked on paper. It is a living testament to many fates, voices, secrets that have intertwined over the centuries, creating a complex ornament of culture, ethnicity, and faith. Here, among the high mountains and wide plains, a history is born and unfolds, preserving evidence of diversity, contradictions, and unity. The population of Tajikistan consists of more than 9 million souls, each a bearer of history, each a testament to the epochs that have passed through the centuries. The Tajik people dominate this population, making up about 80% of the total inhabitants. They are an Indo-European ethnic group whose ancestors have inhabited these lands for centuries, forming a unique language close to Persian, the same language that serves as a bridge between Eastern and Western cultures. The Tajik language is not just a means of communication, it is a living testament to history and culture, passed down from generation to generation, with its poetic traditions, songs, and legends. But these lands are not only home to Tajiks. Within their borders live Uzbeks, Kyrgyz, Russians, Pamiri peoples, each with their own history, culture, and song. The Uzbek population is concentrated in the northern regions, where steppes and oases become living evidence of migrations and historical ties that have linked these peoples for centuries. In the eastern mountains and valleys live the Pamiris, a people whose features and language have inherited ancient Turkic and Iranian roots, forming a unique culture rich in legends of ancient travelers, boundless highland winds, and spiritual traditions that reach deep into the past. The histories of these peoples are not just chronicles of migrations and wars. They are a living tapestry filled with contradictions and harmony. The country is home to Sunni Muslims, whose faith permeates daily life, their prayers a part of the rhythm of life. At the same time, there are Shiite Pamiris, whose religious traditions differ from the majority. Within this religious diversity lies a source of tension, but also of richness. Historical evidence shows that it is precisely these differences, sometimes turning into conflicts, that shape the unique spiritual character of the people. Their ability for dialogue and reconciliation. In Tajikistan, there are also representatives of other religions, Christians, Buddhists, and smaller religious groups. Their presence is living proof that this land has always been a crossroads of cultures, a place of meetings and exchange. In urban areas, in the narrow streets of old quarters, voices imbued with religious tolerance, dialogue, and historical memory can be heard. These testimonies show that despite complex internal contradictions, the country continues to maintain its unique fabric, a fabric woven from many threads, each giving it a special hue. The central question hovering over this diversity is, how does ethnic and religious diversity affect the stability and development of the country? In this question lies both hope and challenge. History shows that disagreements and conflicts are an integral part of this land, as is its wealth. But it is the people's ability to find common ground, respect differences, and build bridges between cultures that determines the future. Within this diversity lies a power that can either destroy or unite. Delving into the depths of this theme, we begin to understand the traditions and customs shaped over centuries are not merely rituals or outdated forms. They are the living heart of society, its memory and its hope. Tajik weddings, where ancient songs are sung, where every gesture is imbued with meaning. Tales of legendary heroes passed down orally. Crafts preserving ancient symbols and motifs. All of this creates a unique fabric that continues to shape the identity of the people today. Here, among the mountains and valleys, traditions come alive, serving as spiritual support for centuries, uniting communities and reminding them of their roots. In every gesture, every word, every celebration, the breath of history, which does not disappear but only takes root deeper. Traditions, customs, and beliefs are not merely attributes of the past. They are a living mechanism that fuels the inner strength of the country, its ability to overcome difficulties and remain united in times of change. Thus, we face the question, how does ethnic and religious diversity affect the stability and development of this remarkable state? Analysis shows that these differences, sometimes seeming discordant, ultimately create a powerful potential for dialogue, for finding new paths and solutions. Within this diversity lies energy that can become a driving force for progress if a way is found to respect and value every thread of this complex tapestry. Looking closer, we begin to understand that the traditions and customs shaped over centuries are not just cultural relics but living testimonies that at the heart of every Tajik person is a desire for peace, harmony, and accord. This is the foundation upon which the future is built, despite all the trials overcome and yet to come. These traditions form the fabric of society, create its unique character, and reveal its inner world. In this country, where mountains are like the walls of an ancient castle and plains stretch endlessly, history holds evidence that diversity is not division, but wealth. In every corner, in every tradition, in every glance, something important is hidden, a testament to struggle and victory, passion and calm, unity and differences. And all of this is part of the enigma of Tajikistan, a country standing on the border of past and future, in constant motion, searching for its true identity. Here, among these mountains, this land continues to write its legend, filling every street, every valley, every heart with meaning. In this diversity lies not only a challenge, but a source of strength that can unite, inspire, and lead to a new dawn. In the heart of this people is faith in the future, in the strength of their culture, in the wisdom of their traditions. And it is this faith that makes Tajikistan a unique country, whose history continues to write new lines in its ancient book. In the heart of Central Asia lies a land that holds within it the testimonies of eras and civilizations, hidden in every stone, every curve of the streets, every breath of wind that sweeps through ancient cities. This country, Tajikistan, is not just a point on the map, not merely a geographical entity. It is a living testament to history, which, like a multi-layered fresco floor, crumbles and reassembles, revealing its secrets to those who are ready to listen. Here, on this land, the destinies of peoples, religions, and empires have intertwined, creating a unique cultural ornament that cannot be measured by kilometers or dates. Only by the heart, by feelings, by the sense of time, which flows here with a special, slowed rhythm. The history of this region goes back thousands of years, to times when the earth was just beginning to hold the memory of the first people. Archaeological findings testify the settlement of this territory began as far back as the 20th century BC, when the first tribes paved their paths across the desert plains and mountain slopes. Stone tools, remains of ancient villages, ruins of ancient sanctuaries. All these are evidence that people lived here, whose destinies intertwined with the fate of nature, with its winds, mountains, and rivers. These facts are not just proofs of past eras. They are the key to understanding how the soul of this people was formed, how its culture survived centuries, destruction, and rebirth. During the era of the Great Silk Road, this land became a center of trade, cultural exchange, and migration of peoples. The city of Tajikistan, once a thriving stronghold of crafts and knowledge, shone brighter than many of its contemporaries. Its ruins still hold the secrets of the craftsmanship of ancient masters, and the frescoes, preserved under layers of dust and time, are testimonies of a rich culture where Islamic motifs intertwined with the legacy of Zoroastrian times. In these walls, the voices of scholars, artists, and traders echoed, shaping the region as a crossroads of civilizations. And every movement, every building, is evidence of how trade and the exchange of knowledge turned into the creation of cultural masterpieces, into the formation of national identity. The Middle Ages brought a new impulse here. Bukhara, a city that became a major cultural and religious center. Its mosques, madrasas, and mausoleums are living witnesses of an era when Islamic culture reached its peak. The city, like a living book, tells of great scholars, poets, and philosophers who were born and worked here. Bukhara is not just an architectural marvel. It is an altar of spirituality, where legends and traditions are preserved and passed down from generation to generation. The stone walls of ancient madrasas, adorned with tiles and ornaments, seem to whisper that culture is not only a heritage, but also a living continuation of spiritual quests, the struggle for knowledge and faith. The spread of Islam in the 7th century played a key role in shaping these traditions. The new religion, which penetrated the hearts of people, became not only a spiritual guide, but also a foundation for the development of art, architecture, and science. Minarets and mosques, adorned with patterns and calligraphic inscriptions, are testimonies of this spiritual rise. They did not merely create an architectural landscape. They became centers of knowledge, places where scholars and poets gathered, where ideas were born that would be spoken of for centuries. But history is not limited to cultural flourishing alone. The Mongol invasions of the 13th century left their mark on memory and architecture. The destruction, which seemed irreversible, gave rise to new forms of resistance, new ideas, a new culture that rose from the ruins. The mighty city walls, their narrow streets, and sacred places, all are testimonies of the struggle for survival, for preserving one's identity. Numerous traditions, customs, and crafts that have survived through the centuries are evidence of how the people, despite the destruction, did not lose themselves. Modern Tajikistan is the result of this complex interweaving of histories. The influence of Russia and the Soviet Union left their imprint, introducing new ideas, architectural styles, language, and cultural practices. Diversity is what defines its current identity. Ancient traditions and modern trends, age-old crafts and industrial innovations coexist here. In this strange, contrasting symbiosis lives the soul of the people. They seek their place between the past and the future, between the legacy of empires and their own destiny. But how do these historical events and cultural influences shape the unique appearance of modern Tajikistan? This question is not just an analytical task. It is a challenge to understand what is hidden behind the facades of ancient cities, behind their walls, behind their legends. How has the memory of great empires, religions, and revolutions woven the fabric of modern life? What secrets are held in the lost streets of Samarkand, in the mosaics of ancient madrasas, in the ruins of Penjikent? And why do these secrets help to understand the true identity of a country that, like an ancient cedar, has withstood the winds of history, preserved its essence, and continues to grow despite everything? For behind the facades of ancient cities and monuments lies not only history, but the soul of the people. And this soul is not a static monument, but a living, breathing entity that constantly forms, reinterprets its heritage, and seeks harmony between what was and what will be. Every legend, every testimony of the past is not just a memory, it is a key to understanding who we are today and who we can become tomorrow. And that is why the history, culture, and traditions of Tajikistan are not only a heritage, but a source of inspiration, search, struggle, and faith in a better future. This story is about a place where time flows differently, where the past and present merge into a whole, creating a mosaic image of a country that holds not only facts and testimonies but also deep meaning hidden beneath the layers of history. The place called Tajikistan is not just a geographical point on the map. It is a living monument to the memory of humanity, a testament to its struggle, faith, and quest. And to understand it, one must hear its voice, smell the scents of its streets, see the light in the eyes of its people. Only then can one realize that behind the facades of ancient cities lie not only secrets, but also the truth about who we are and who we can become. The history of this region is not just a chronicle of events, not merely a chain of conquests and changes. It is a living testament to the struggle for identity, for the right to be oneself in a world where each era left its mark. Each event became part of a complex mosaic that today defines the face of the country. Tajikistan, like an ancient temple covered in the dust of ages, holds secrets hidden beneath layers of time, and only through understanding these mysteries can one comprehend its present and, most importantly, its future. The ancient land, where this country now stretches, was, in the depths of centuries, part of the powerful Samanid Empire. In the 9th century, when the East flourished in a halo of cultural and scientific achievements, this land became the center of Persian culture, a bridge between East and West. Testimonies of this time, the ruins of palaces, manuscripts retaining the scent of ancient ink, and legends passed down orally, like the breath of ages. The grass-covered city streets speak of legendary rulers who built bridges between religion and art, scholars and poets, dreamers and warriors. But history does not stand still. In the 7th century, when Islam began its rapid advance across the East, this region felt the breath of a new era, a new religion that became not only a spiritual force, but also a powerful cultural phenomenon. Evidence of this period: mosques adorned with ceramic tiles, and the sounds of minarets echoing across the desert, reminding of the changes that swept through all layers of society. The spread of Islam altered not only the religious landscape, but also the social fabric, creating new traditions, new values, new perceptions of the world and humanity. However, the history of this land is not only about peaceful changes. In the 13th-15th centuries, it became the stage for turbulent events, the Mongol invasions which, like a bloody rain, poured onto the land, leaving destruction and fear in their wake. The Mongol conquerors, like shadows of ancient legends, passed through these lands, destroying cities, ravaging fields, yet bringing new ideas, new connections, new paths. These lands were now controlled by various states, each leaving its mark, from Islam to Turkish Khanates, from Russian influence to local dynasties. The 19th century became a turning point. The territory, once free and independent, became part of the Russian Empire. It was a century of change, a clash of traditions and modernity, a collision of imperial ambitions and popular hopes. The region became part of the Turkestan territory, a region where caravan routes crossed, where the voices of traders and warriors echoed, where history was written against the backdrop of the rustling of camels and the roar of cannons. The evidence of this era, railways, colonial buildings intermingled with ancient ruins, all spoke of a new era where humanity struggled for its destiny. In 1924, a new administrative entity appeared on the map, the Tajik Autonomous Soviet Socialist Republic. Then, as if reborn from the ashes, this land became part of the powerful Soviet system. Industrialization replaced traditional crafts, factories and plants appeared in cities, and new voices were heard on the streets, the voices of Russification and secularization. The evidence of this includes industrial complexes, residential areas, and monuments of the Soviet era. But behind all this lay internal contradictions, between preserving ancient traditions and imposing a new ideology, between the desire to maintain unique culture and the necessity to fit into global processes. And then, finally, the 90s, a moment when history entered a new chapter. The Declaration of Independence was not only an act of liberation, but also the beginning of a struggle to define its own path. Civil war, chaos, and the challenges of modernization all left a noticeable mark on the soul of the people, forming new values and new hopes. Today, as the country stands on the threshold of the future, it, like a person who has endured severe trials, seeks a balance between the past and the present, between traditions and change. The central conflict that permeates this entire history is the question of how the legacy of the past influences modern identity. How much does history determine the fate of a people? What lessons from the past help build the future? And why is it so important to remember and respect every era, every event, every legend, for they shape the unique image of the country? This story is not just a chronicle of changes. It is a story of the struggle for meaning, for a place in the sun, for the right to be oneself. In every stone, in every manuscript, in every monument, there are testimonies of the struggle for freedom, for dignity, for the right to preserve one's culture no matter what. And it is these testimonies that help understand that the past is not just a shadow, it is the foundation on which the future is built. What lessons from the past help Tajikistan build its future? Firstly, the necessity to remember one's roots, to respect one's culture and traditions, for they provide strength and resilience. Secondly, it is important to remember that history is not only about victories but also defeats, not only glorious pages but also dark times that teach the value of peace and stability. Thirdly, faith in the ability of society to change, adapt, and develop is the key to its prosperity. A journey through this land is a journey through time, into the depths of the soul of a people who have passed through fire and water, through great empires and severe trials, to become what it is today. And this path is not an end, but the beginning of a new page, a page where every person, every family, every legend is part of a large living narrative, where the past and the future are intertwined in a single movement. That is why this story preserves evidence, in stones, in people, in legends. That is why, by studying it, we learn to respect the past and build the future. For only in this way can we understand the true face of a country that continues its journey, no matter what, with hope and faith in a bright future. In the warm morning air, filled with the sense of freshly cut grass, rainy earth, and mountain rocks, one of the most mysterious and at the same time complex countries of Central Asia, Tajikistan, unfolds before us. This country, like a precious gem hidden in the embrace of high mountains, holds within it the testimonies of ancient civilizations, legends of heroic ancestors, and an ongoing struggle for the future. But its history is not only about glorious events and rich traditions. It is about challenges that require not only courage, but also deep analysis, strategies, and wisdom. Today, we will try to understand how this young, yet already eventful and contradictory state is attempting to find its path in the modern world. Tajikistan is a country where the economy still hangs by a thread. contemporary evidence shows that its gross domestic product is about $9 billion. For such a territory, covered with mountains, with a rich history and culture, this seems like a negligible number. But these figures are a reflection of the reality in which the country continues to fight for its share in the global economic system. Statistics indicate that more than a third of the population lives below the poverty line, and the unemployment rate, like a shadow of difficult times, reaches 20%. These indicators are not just numbers, but images that live in every home, in every village, in every heart. The economy of Tajikistan is based on what nature has given it the most: fertile lands, rich deposits of minerals, and inexhaustible hydroelectric resources. Here, among the high mountains, rivers flow like the living blood of the country, nourishing it and giving hope for development. Cotton is the main export product, turning into fabric that, like threads of fate, connects the country with the outside world. In every cotton field, there is a story of hard work, of struggle for the harvest, of hope for the future. But aluminum production is also an important part of the economy, as hydroelectric resources allow for the creation of production that, despite its modernity, remains vulnerable. The main trading partners of Tajikistan, Russia, Kazakhstan, China, Turkey, and Iran, are like chains linking the country to the outside world. These ties, often complex and contradictory, determine its fate, its opportunities, and limitations. But no less significant are the migrants, millions of Tajiks who, having left their homes, go to Russia and other countries to earn a living. Their remittances are not only material aid, but also evidence that the country depends on decisions made far beyond its borders. These remittances constitute a significant portion of the internal GDP, highlighting how crucial this shallow, yet vital, chain is for the country. The central conflict that plagues the nation and its people is the question: how to overcome poverty and develop amidst external dependency. How to break free from the chains that bind Tajikistan to external markets and investments. What is the key to sustainable development? After all, an economy based on the extraction of natural resources and agriculture is essentially a vulnerable structure, susceptible to fluctuations in global prices and political factors. Within the country, there is a struggle to improve the quality of life, create jobs, develop infrastructure, and enhance education and health. History holds evidence that in such moments, strategies and foresight are particularly important. Can an economy be built that does not depend on external factors? Can old models based on raw material exports be surpassed to create new sources of income? What steps are needed for the country to become more resilient, more independent? These questions are not merely theoretical. They live in every Tajik's heart, in every government decision, in every new project. On the streets of Dushanbe, where modern buildings stand alongside Soviet-era ruins, the spirit of change is palpable. The city seems to move in two directions at once. On one side, the ghosts of the past. On the other, hopes for the future. In small villages, where the mountains seem like silent witnesses for centuries, life continues according to ancient traditions. Here, among the rocky slopes and semi-desert valleys, residents continue to plant cotton, herd sheep, and listen to legends of their ancestors, who eternally roam these lands like guardians of time. The country's development strategies require not only economic reform, but also cultural rethinking. Within every Tajik lies the desire to change their destiny, to build a better future for their children. But what can be the catalyst for this change? Perhaps innovations based on the use of rich hydroelectric resources, the development of tourism, attracting investments, and creating conditions for small businesses. But all this is just words. If there is no determination to overcome internal and external obstacles, if there is no strategy that unites the people and the government, what comes next? What strategies can help Tajikistan become a more resilient and independent economy? Perhaps more is needed than just resources and geographical luck. Ideas are necessary that weave new technologies, new approaches, and new values into the fabric of the country. Integration into global production chains, the development of its own innovative potential, and the expansion of the internal market are important. But most importantly, it is the belief in one's own strength, the belief that even in the most difficult conditions, a path to success can be found. The desire for progress, the internal drive for development, this is what can become the engine of change. Recalling the legends told by the elders about their ancestors, about great battles and achievements, we understand that the history of this country is a history of struggle, for survival, for dignity, for the future. And although today's challenges seem insurmountable, it is precisely through these testimonies of the past that one can find the strength and wisdom to build a new, more sustainable life. Looking to the future is not just a dream or hope. It is a challenge that every Tajik, every family, every heart filled with faith must answer. A country rich in natural resources, history, and culture stands on the threshold of change. And these changes are not just words or political slogans. It is a strategic path that requires wisdom, patience, and determination. The time when Tajikistan can become not only a raw material appendage, but also an independent player on the world stage, depends on how it answers the main question: how to overcome poverty, strengthen its economy, and ensure a bright future for its children. The answer lies within this country, in its people, in their resilience and belief in a better future. And the history that continues to be written on these mountain slopes and in the depths of souls holds evidence. Even in the most difficult conditions, light can be found if you have the desire to move forward. In the heart of Central Asia, where mountains rise to the clouds like ancient guardians and rivers noisily cut through rocky valleys, lies one of the most enigmatic and contradictory countries in the region. Tajikistan, a land steeped in legends, history, and challenges, makes it not just a country on the map, but a living witness to the struggle for stability, sovereignty, and the future. Here, among the ridges where snow eternally covers the peaks, and in the shadow of ancient fortresses, questions ripen on which the fate of this mountainous republic depends. What forces shape its internal image? What international ties, like ropes, keep it afloat in the turbulent ocean of geopolitics? And what needs to be done for a country that has fought for its identity for centuries to achieve stability and recognition in the eyes of the world? Imam Ali Rahman is a figure that has long become a symbol of a new era for Tajikistan. His power is not just politics. It is a complex knot, an intertwining of traditions and ambitions, internal stability and external challenges. From the moment he ascended to power, the country has experienced constant pressure, on the brink between the past and the future, between tradition and modernization. His control is not only political strength, it is a symbol, evidence that in this mountainous region there are still people ready to stay the course no matter what. But what lies behind this stability? What values? What contradictions? What secrets? Inside the country, a struggle rages against corruption, against outdated institutions, against poverty that eternally follows anyone trying to rise higher. This is a challenge that gives no rest to either the authorities or the population. And yet, despite everything, the country is moving forward, betting on modernization, infrastructure development, and attracting investments. Tajikistan's international relations are like a network of the finest threads, connecting it with neighbors and global centers of influence. Russia is not only a strategic ally, but also an old friend that helps maintain balance in difficult times. China is a new powerful partner, investing billions in roads, power plants, and energy, turning the country into a bridge between East and West. Kazakhstan and Iran are neighbors with whom the Republic shares not only borders, but also historical ties, cultural roots, and common challenges. These connections are not merely diplomatic formalities. They are evidence that Tajikistan is trying to find its niche on the map of global interests, balancing between different centers of power to preserve its independence and ensure its future. Behind this balance lie internal and external challenges. Within the country, ethnic diversity, like a woven fabric, gives it uniqueness but also creates risks. Internal conflicts, historical wounds, and the struggle for power require constant work to strengthen unity. Internal efforts to combat corruption, modernize institutions, and improve living standards are not just words. They are a struggle for survival, for recognition, for the right to be called a modern state. The foreign policy strategy is the art of balancing, not allowing anyone to fully dominate, attracting investments, and strengthening its position on the international stage. But what determines the resilience of this country? What internal and external forces keep it standing? What factors can become either destructive or, conversely, catalysts for progress? Internally, it is primarily the need for reforms, the fight against corruption, and the strengthening of civil institutions. Externally, it is the ability to maneuver between strong powers, attract investments, maintain internal stability, and national unity. History holds evidence. Countries that have withstood the test of time and external pressure have done so thanks to the strength of spirit, the wisdom of leaders, and enduring traditions. But what is the real conflict? It is in the question, can Tajikistan overcome its internal contradictions? Can it become a country where people not only survive but live with dignity? Where stability is not a temporary phenomenon, but a foundation on which the future can be built? This is the main challenge. Internal and external factors are like two sides of the same coin. Their interaction determines the fate of the country, and in this lies its true test, its chance. What steps can lead Tajikistan to a path of stable growth and international recognition? First, a real reform breakthrough that will strengthen institutions, making them more transparent and effective. Second, the development of its own economy, based on innovation, education, and modernization of the energy sector. Third, strengthening the social sphere, improving the quality of life, and creating opportunities for the young and talented. Only in this way can the country not only preserve its identity, but also become an active participant on the global stage. And only then can its legends, rich history, and cultural wealth resonate on the world stage, earning respect and interest. After all, a country that has fought for its independence for centuries knows the value of freedom. It is not just a geographical point on the map. It is a living organism, filled with memory, passions, and hopes. And its future lies in the hands of those who are ready to embrace change, unafraid of challenges and risks. In this world full of contradictions, where forces pull in different directions, Tajikistan stands as a beacon, lighting the way for those seeking their place. And the question is not only what will happen next, but what steps this proud country will take to become not just a witness to history, but its main protagonist. This place is a country where every stone holds evidence of ancient legends, and every person carries a story of struggle and rebirth. Internal and external factors are like two threads woven into the fabric of destiny. And the path Tajikistan chooses depends not only on its leaders, but on everyone who believes in the strength and future of their land. In this struggle for stability, it is not just a political game, it is a battle for the soul of the people, for their memory, for the right to leave a mark in history. To gaze upon this mountainous landscape is to understand that history holds evidence. Stability is not an accident. It is the result of efforts, traditions, and the fight for a better future. And only by choosing the right path can this land flourish, filling its mountains and valleys with new legends, and its people with pride and support for the country. In the heart of Central Asia, among majestic mountain ranges and endless plains, lies Tajikistan, a country whose fate seems eternally poised between past and future, between the wealth of natural resources and the challenges that demand bold decisions. This is a place where history holds evidence of ancient civilizations and legends of great routes that connected East and West. Today, as horizons expand and opportunities seem limitless, Tajikistan stands on the brink of significant change, ready to unlock its potential and become a new focal point, a new force in the region. Possessing vast water resources is a testament to natural generosity, which not only captivates the imagination, but also presents the country with complex challenges. Majestic rivers that cut through rocks, rushing and splashing in the valleys, are not only a natural treasure, but also a potential energy source, capable of transforming the economic destiny. Majestic reservoirs, like mirrors reflecting the sky, are evidence of technical capabilities and ambitions. The development of hydropower is not just words about the future. It is a pledge to the people that the country can achieve energy independence, reduce reliance on external suppliers, and ensure sustainable development. But potential is only half the battle. History shows that without infrastructural breakthroughs, without the modernization of transport links and communications, even the richest resources remain useless. The construction of roads, bridges, and power grids is not just about technical projects. They are bridges between people, between regions, between traditions, and modernity. Investments in infrastructure are investments in the future, in economic growth that can lift millions out of poverty and give them a chance for a decent life. Tajikistan is a country where natural beauty and rich cultural heritage attract more and more tourists. In the mountains, where the air is filled with the scent of pines and freshness, ancient cities spread out, preserving the evidence of past eras. In every stone, in every monument, there is a story that asks to be heard and understood. This is a country where the traditions of nomads and artisans, folktales and legends, are woven into a unique fabric of cultural heritage. Tourism is not only a source of income, but also a way to show the world the true soul of Tajikistan. By developing the tourism industry, the country can reveal its natural and cultural treasures, creating jobs and strengthening its identity. But to realize this potential, it is necessary to go further, to invest in education, innovation, and entrepreneurship. Modernizing the education system, introducing modern technologies, and developing a startup ecosystem are not just words but real tools for creating a new generation of leaders, engineers, and scientists. A country that invests in its young people is a country that looks to the future with confidence. Innovation can become the driver of an economic leap, and entrepreneurship the force that creates new jobs and opens doors for domestic and foreign investors. Of course, all these efforts require overcoming obstacles. Fighting corruption, improving the business climate, and creating transparent rules of the game are not just recommendations but necessities for attracting investment and gaining the trust of the international community. The diversity of peoples and traditions makes Tajikistan unique. It is like a kaleidoscope of cultures, each adding its note to the overall symphony. This cultural wealth is not only a source of pride, but also a powerful resource that can become the foundation for tourism and cultural exports, strengthening the country's position on the world stage. The current situation indicates that the country faces a choice: to continue on a path based on old models, or to embrace the challenge of change that can lead to sustainable development and prosperity. What steps are necessary for this? What decisions will help turn Tajikistan into a bridge between East and West, uniting different cultures, ideas, and economies? The most important factors are political will, strategic clarity, and belief in one's own strength. The country must become a center of innovation and sustainable development, where traditions blend with progress and natural resources serve the people. Today, at this pivotal moment in history, new opportunities are emerging, a time when change is not just desirable, but necessary. A time when every river, every mountain plateau, every cultural heritage can become part of a global success story. What discoveries await Tajikistan in the coming years? What opportunities will be realized when the country stops fearing its strength and begins to build its future on solid foundations? In this story, there is room for bold decisions, for faith in one's abilities, for uniting efforts for the common good. This journey is not only across lands and cities, but also into the depths of human potential. Tajikistan is not just a country on the map. It is a living, breathing organism filled with hopes and dreams. In every corner there is evidence that change is possible if there is desire and will. And right now, at this moment, the country stands on the threshold of a new era. The prospects shine brighter than ever, and future generations, inspired by this moment, will be able to say that they witnessed the birth of a new, strong, and prosperous Tajik nation.